Welcome in this particular tutorial. I'm glad to have you on board, and in this tutorial I'm going to discuss mail merge as used in word processing. Now remember, we started a series of word processing tutorial, and we discussed how to start a word processor, how can you be able to format text, how can you be able to add tables, how can you be able to add shapes. All this information we have been able to share in the past videos, and therefore if you missed my video, kindly go to the description section so that you can be able to catch up with whatever information that you missed in the past. Now in this one, we are going to concentrate on mail merge, and therefore we can ask ourselves first, what is mail merge? Now, mail merge is a process of personalizing standard document. Now, it happens sometimes you're dealing with information of so many people that you cannot be able to type an individual letter per time. For example, you're dealing with, you want to circulate maybe a standard as a certain information, and therefore that information should have or should be able to bear the personal information of the recipient. And therefore, in this particular case, you realize that mail merge comes so powerfully to come and help you in that particular activity. And therefore, in this particular tutorial, I will be able to show you how you can be able to go about it. The first thing that you need to do is that every time you talk about mail merge is having four main steps. We have got four main steps of mail merge. The first process is to create a standard document. So, for instance, whatever I've done here, I've created a standard document that addresses the clients that owe me some money, and therefore in this case I'm trying to write to them a letter with their personalized information so that I can be able to they can be able to clear the invoices last term in the previous year. So you can see that now that this is my standard document. Now going further, the second step that you need to follow is to create a data source. Now, the information that you're going to add into this standard document, you need to fetch it from the data source, and therefore there is need for you to create a data bank of those recipients of that particular letter or that particular document. And then after doing that, you are supposed to add merge fields in the main document. We are supposed to add merge fields into the main document. And then after that, step number 4 is now to combine the data source with the main document or the standard document. So those are the 4 main steps that you need to follow in order for you to, to, to apply the mail merge process in this case. Now let's dive in. We have already created a standard document here. Now remember, it's an official letter, and therefore being an official letter, this tells you that we need to have 2 addresses, and therefore mail merge is going to help me to create that recipient address here. And then we have also left one blank place here. That is that I wish to request you to clear Kenya shillings, and then you give the amount. So that amount is also supposed to be inserted using mail merge, and therefore we're going to look at how you can be able to go about that. Now, if you want to create mail merge, the first thing that you need to do is to click. Remember, I've created already the standard document. Now, the next thing that I need to do is just to go to mailings. You click on mailings at the top here, and then after doing that, you just go to since we have already started mail merge. Every time you talk about start mail merge, it's either you're creating a letters, you're creating email messages, you're creating envelope, you're creating labels, you're creating directory, and many other things that you want to create. So that's what we call start mail merge. Then after that, you come to the second option, and that is select recipient. Now in this case, I don't have any data source ready. Therefore, I need to create a data source. So the next thing that I need to do is to click type a new list. So I'm going to click on type a new list, and therefore I'm going to write all the information that I have. Now there's something that stand out that I need you to understand, that I have the title of whoever is going to receive the letter. I have got the first name of that person, the last name, the company name. I have got the address line 1. Now in case if I want to see more options that are there, I can be able to drag on my right, so that I can be able to see more options. But look at these particular options or these fields that are here. There is no that field for cash or maybe debt, or that field for balance. So I need to add that new entry in this case so that I can be able to add that particular field in this particular case. And therefore in this particular area, the first thing that I'm going to do is to enter the information. Yeah, let me enter the information. Yeah, so I need to start with the title. So the first person is called Mr. Let me just say John Williams. John Williams. John Williams. And then the company for this is, let me just say we have it, Tosh. Tosh Cleaners. So that's a company that owes me money. So Tosh Cleaners. And therefore, what is the address line? So I'm going to use address line 1 to enter the address for that particular company. So I can just say PO Box, PO Box 200, 120, 140. And the city is, let me just say the city is supposed to be, let me say, Nabiswa, for example. I can just give an example of that particular city. Now, going further, you realize that other information you can add, for example, you have the state, you have the zip code, you have got many other phone numbers. You can go to add the email address of that company, and that is exactly what you're supposed to do. But what I want to be interested so much in this particular part is that I want to add another column for balance. So how do I do that? I need just to click on customize, and then I go to add. So when I click on add, I am supposed to type the field name. So the field name in this case is balance. So that is the field name that I want to use in this case, balance. And then after doing that, you just click OK. So automatically balance has been added, but I can be able to reorganize so that balance can be able to appear somewhere around here. Yeah. So it is possible for me to do that. Move, let me just say move down. So I can move it down, up to this point. Maybe I can put it there after city. So I think all these other information I'm not going to use them. Therefore, I can put it at the city point, and then I click OK. So if I check my list very well, you'll be able to realize that a new field has been added called balance, and therefore I'm going to add the balance that this particular company owes me 100,000. Yeah. So that is the company name, and then the balance that they owe me. Then after doing that, I click here to add a new entry. So in case I want to add a new entry, I click here. In case I want to delete that entry that I've just entered, I click on delete entry. So I just click here and then I delete entry if I want. And I can also add here so that I can go to click new or create a new file. So for example, the second person that owes me in this particular case is the company called, the manager is called Lydia Atieno. Lydia Atieno. And this is, you can just say that this is Ponya, just say Ponya Clinic. So we did some work with this particular company, and therefore they have not been able to pay up. So I want to just remind them of what is expected to be done. Now, PO box for this particular one is 46, and 46 we can just say 46, and then we can give it a city like let me give it a city like Tano. That is the city that I want. And then this particular company owes me 250,000 in this case. Now I've been able to add these records. I can continue adding more records. And if you're interested, you can continue to add more records. Now, but I can work with these two for the sake of example. And then after doing that, you just click OK. Now, when you click OK, the next thing that is going to ask you, where exactly are you going to save my data source? Normally, the data source goes to the document folder. So you can see the document folder has been selected at the top here, and my data sources is also active. So I'm going to say my clients. So you can just write the word clients as my name, the name of my data source, clients. And then after doing that, you just click on save. Yeah. Now you have been able to do that. You can see the way things are now. We have been able to create a data source, and then you can be able to realize now other fields have been activated. For example, this field is not active, this field is not active, this field is not active. But because you have now the data source, that field is active now. But you can just be able to go there and make sure that you have the right information. Now you go to select recipient, and then you go to use existing list. Now it will take you directly to the directory where the information is saved. So for example, in this case, information is saved in clients. So I click on clients and then I click on open. Now you go back to exactly where you are. Now the first thing that I want to bring here is the address block. So I click between my center address. This is my center address, and then this is the reference or the reason. Now in between these two, you have got the blank space for adding the recipient address. Now let me add the recipient address. I click on address block, and then you'll be given the suggestion of different ways to present the address block. But for this particular case, I'm so much happy with the way things are looking at in this particular case. Therefore, I just going to click OK. And therefore, you can see that that information is going to be added in form of a placeholder. The information is going to be added as the placeholder. You can see the way it is appearing. Now I can press enter again, and then I want to add some more information. In this case, I want to add the greetings line. So what I need to do, I just go here and click on greeting line. And then you can see here they're saying, dear Mr. Williams. So that is exactly how I want that information to look like. Now, the last thing that I want to do, I want to add now the balance. And the balance, I want it to appear here. So I'm going to place my cursor there, and then I'm going to insert merge field. So I click on this drop down arrow, and then I select balance. And you can see here the balance is well indicated in this particular case. So I wish to request you to clear Kenya shillings this. And then you can add some information there. In a balance of, and then Kenya shillings 100,000 for from. You can just say that from your invoice balance. You can give that word there, from your invoice balance for the services rendered. Yeah, so I think that is correct now. Now, what have I done? I've been able to add now all the information that I want from it. And then after doing that, you go to the last step. That the last step now is merge, finish and merge. But now, finish and merge, there is a drop-down arrow here. So the first thing that you need to do is to click on that drop-down arrow. Now, there are three ways to go about it. One is that you can be able to insert edit individual document. Maybe you want to add some specific information on some letters. Now, that is the way you need to go about it. And then in case you are satisfied with the way things are, you just go ahead and print. It is going to print two letters. And then sometimes you can also want to send via as an email message. So that also is available there. But what I want to do, because I don't have the printer connection in this particular tutorial, I want just to edit individual documents so that to show you how you can go to generate that letter. So you just click on edit individual document, and then you can be able to click on you leave alone all, and then you click on OK. So by so doing, your Microsoft Word is going to create two letters with specific information. Now you can see we have got the center address, we have the greetings line, and then we have the amount of money or the balance that we owe this particular company. And then going down, you can be able to see that when I go to the second person, we have got the details of the recipient, and then we have the correct balance indicated in that particular letter. Now that is exactly how you can be able to create a mail match, and that's how you can put mail match. And I hope you have been able to understand what it entails. Kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel so that when I create the next video, you will be informed. Bye bye for now.